This is 100 years of fashion history completely reimagined with Nano Banana 2, Higgsfield Soul 2 and Kling 3.0. I'm breaking down the entire workflow step by step, from generating the base assets to AI cinematography and full production. So stick around because the final 60-second evolution is rather interesting. I will be generating all base images in Higgsfield Soul 2.0 because it's not a general purpose AI. It's a fashion first engine trained to understand aesthetic logic. So of course first we need all of the fashion history. That's why I prepared this file containing different fashion trends across the century. So for example, we have the flapper, the Hollywood glamour, Oxford bags, utility style, the new look, the greaser, rockabilly, Woodstock boho, new romantic, Miami Vice, many different things. Of course, I needed to prepare the prompt for each style, and after that we have everything. Now let's just copy one by one into the Higgsfield Soul. Here it is, my first style. Let's choose to create 2 images in a batch, and interestingly enough, here Higgsfield has some very valuable settings. So for example, we can have a general setting, then warm ambient, swag era, theatrical light, street photography. Each of these settings will create a completely different mood, color scheme and overall photography for the desired image. For example, for this style we will use retro black and white. And now let's do that for 30-40 different styles. As you can see here, I have over 2000 of free generations left, which is great. So let's speed this up. Okay, now we have all of our images with different models and different trends. I could have created everything with the same model. For example, here, model of myself. This is rather easy here in Higgsfield Soul. For example, you just click on character. I already created 2 characters of myself based on my own images, and it is rather easy to do that. If I click on create new character, just upload 10, 20 or even more photos for better results, but it will work even with 3 or 4 photos. So for example, here are 3 images of myself. You see it says that it is bad because I only uploaded 3 images, but you can even create a character by using that. I already did that. And now when your character is chosen, you just enter the prompt and you can create every style with that special character, with yourself or whoever you want. And here I have myself looking nice in this 1990s hip-hop style. Or if you want, you can use, for example, reference image and then do a color transfer. You can create your own colors, as I did here for black and white, for example, upload and create, or use some of the color palettes already available. For example, we here have lime jam. Use that and then generate the same reference image with different color palettes. Very useful for idea generation, for base images and for everything else. So now, of course, the next step is to create videos out of those images. And we don't want to create any kind of videos. We want all of the videos to look similar with the same background and same motion, but different model and different clothes. For that, we will be using so-called leading videos. So let's first create a video. So ultra-realistic cinematic shot front view of a confident female fashion model walking down a bright white runway. I will be using Grok Imagine to create that, and only 3-second video. No longer, we don't need longer for this particular scenario. And after clicking generate, we received the following video. Nice. So this will be our leading video. We will exchange the character from the video with our own characters so that background and everything stays the same and overall motion stays the same. For that, we can use Kling 3.0 Omni Edit, Kling 01 Video Edit or Kling Motion Control. Prices and credits are similar for all those and vary on a low amount. So here upload your leading video, that was the one that we just created, then upload the image that you would like to put into that video. So this woman will appear instead of this woman with the same motion and the background of this video. So after we did that, the final result is the following. You see? Now she is walking the same way as this lady walked on the runway. If you're satisfied with the result, repeat for each image that we created in the first step. So just remove this one here and then click upload. Here are all our images and I will just upload one by one. Okay. After the image is uploaded, just mention it here with @ Here we have @image1. So person from image 1 instead of woman in the video 1, the same motion. So simple prompt. And do that for 30-40 times, as much images as you have. And each person will then walk in the same manner with the same background. For example, we have also this guy here. And since we use the base video of this woman walking, now all of the guys walk in a kind of a feminine way here, of course. But that's okay. And after a while, we have all of our videos ready. Now let's click on newly released Nano Banana 2. Upload some of the images that you would like to spice things up. For example, we have our lady from 1920s here, and then we'll enter following prompt. Based on the fashion style of the attached image, add overlay graphics describing that fashion style, describing each item, and try to guess a year. So let's click generate. And now since Nano Banana 2 is connected with Gemini, it has all the world knowledge and it's very smart. It basically created in a matter of seconds this image. So year 1926, correct. The flapper era, we have description of her haircut, we have description of the dress, T-strap, heels, the flapper style, everything is here. I created a couple of those. So for example, here we have the golden age of the Hollywood, and here we have this guy with so-called 1935 Oxford bags. What we will be using that for is just to, as I mentioned, spice things up. So we'll turn that into another video. Now for the first frame, we will be using screenshot from the initially created video of that guy. So the first second. And then for the last frame, we will be using newly created image with the infographic style, kind of an overlay of all of the fashion items that he is wearing. For that one, you can use whatever video model you want. I used Kling 3.0. I then changed this to the 3 seconds, and then you don't even need a prompt, but just to be sure, add something like the first frame is a high resolution photograph in a dark runway, and this is the important part, the centered model walks forward, so that AI knows what to do with those two images. And now this is what we received as a final result. Nice. You see, we wanted to achieve that. We will be adding that into the final composition video. Now we need to stitch everything together, and for that use your favorite video editor. It's very simple. So first import, of course, all of the video we just created, then add one by one or all of them into the timeline. Each video, if you remember, was 3 seconds. We don't need 3 seconds for each video. We will cut some things out. Before cutting process, the best thing is, of course, first to find the appropriate music. The music I'm using here is Mission to Mars by Audio Hertz. It's a free in YouTube library. Then wherever you have some kind of a bass, there we want to add cuts. Of course, you can find the basses manually, or you can use auto mark beats. It's a simple feature, but very useful. Then add some of the effects, for example, these shaking effects. Join all of the videos together. Sometimes when you have a video, for example, like this, just to make things more interesting, speed things up. Somewhere, for example, when you have that beat, here we wanted to spin things up 4 times. Also, sometimes you want to have the same style shown with different models. For that, just recreate videos with different models and add those seconds here, you see? And that way we make things more interesting. And our video with the infographics and overlay that we created, let's add it here. And you see, nicely done. We have all of that also. The final step is also adding captions so that we know which year is it. I did that manually for every year, as you can see here, 1926, the flapper. On purpose I chose this style so that it blends in the background naturally. And after that we have our final video. It lasts for 54 seconds, so let's look at it. Which style did you prefer the most? Please let me know in the comments down below, and we'll talk some next time.